More than 90% of startups die, they fail. You know that the founders, they have a great idea. They start their company with a lot of passion, with a lot of energy. They really, really work hard. Yet, 90% of the companies die. Why is it so? There are a couple of main reasons, couple of big reasons. One of them is execution, and I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about the other one, and that's the primary cause of death of startups or ideas in the very early stage. Execution is the one which becomes the reason for death in the next phase. So, before I tell you that reason for which most of the startups die in the very early stage, let me tell you a story of an idea. 10 years back, I was studying in this campus, and I decided not to go for a job, but to pursue my idea of a startup. And my family had absolutely no idea about business. So when I went and told my mom that I'm going to start a company, she was a little bit worried, but as always, she supported. But then, after a month or so, she called me up and she sounded a little bit disturbed. And she told me, Bikash, you have to get a job. Just go and sit for the placement, get the job, but it's not necessary that you have to join. And I thought, what's happening? Why is it so? And after a while, I realized that one of my uncles told my mom that I heard Bikash started a computer shop. So my mom was furious. Is this the reason why I sent you to IIT to start a computer shop? You're spoiling my reputation. So anyway, I let things get cooled down for a while. My mom got cooled down, and I never went for the campus placement. And I started off with the idea which I had, and my co-founder was a great hacker, also from the same campus. He used to know people by their IP address and not by their names. So it's like we meet somebody at the canteen, and after some time he realizes, oh, that was 10.5. So we once went to an organization to conduct an ethical hacking exercise. So ethical hacking exercise is something where the organizations invite experts to come down and test how secure is their system, are there any flaws, how could they be broken, and how they could be fixed. So we went to this organization and we broke almost every part of the network. We got the CEO's password, we got into the finance system, we got into the HR system. Back then, hacking was very easy. And while we were presenting that report to their management, we got an idea. We thought maybe we could have tried a different way to break into. So at the end of the presentation, we went and told them that can we try once more? And they said, okay, go ahead and try any way you guys have broken. So we went and tried, and that thing worked. And that was like a moment of truth for us. And we asked ourselves that when we, as ethical hackers or penetration testers, when we try to break into a system and find out the flaws, once we get success, do we try as hard as we were trying before to find the second way of breaking into, and the third, and the 10th, and the 100th? The answer is obviously no, because we will lose the interest after some time as human beings. So we realized that the ethical hacking model doesn't really solve the purpose, because for the guy who has to secure, he or she has to block all the possibilities of attacks, but the guy who is going to break has to find only one. So we thought, what could we do? And just some time back, I did my course on artificial intelligence, so we thought, can we do something to figure out the permutations and combinations of attack paths? So we started using planning algorithms and started working on this problem. And what we figured out a little bit later was that this was a very, very hard problem in computer science. The space complexity is very high. With conventional computers, you cannot solve this in a reasonable time frame. But we figured out certain ways to solve that. And once we did that, we started getting a lot of awards from Intel, University of California, Berkeley, Red Herring, et cetera, et cetera. So we were super excited. But then, after a while, we had our second moment of truth. And what we realized was that we were getting more awards than business. So we were thinking, what's happening? Are these people crazy? They're giving us so many awards, but nobody is buying this. So we started thinking about what the real problem is. And what we figured out was that organizations, even though they loved this idea, they did not have people to run these tools. So we thought, then how do we solve this? And then we thought, let's host this online, and we can run this tool for them. Let's offer it as a service. And then one of the guys in our company, he came up and told me, Bikash, you know what? There is something called SaaS, software as a service. And I went and looked, okay, that sounds cool. Let's call ourselves SaaS. And that became something interesting because we had a very interesting technology we used to call like AI-based technology to simulate a human hacker. Then we had a lot of awards, and now all of a sudden we got a business-friendly tag called SaaS. And we got lucky. We raised $4 million venture capital fund. And that was a great moment. We were all very, very happy. And I thought, let me give a call to my mom and share this great news. So I called up my mom and told that, Mom, we got $4 million. On the other side, there was a long silence. And then she said, why will somebody give you so much of money? There must be something wrong. And she told, be careful. So indeed, I had to be very careful after we raised this $4 million, but for a completely different reason. After a while, we started getting some moderate success, we started getting some customers, but then what we realized was that we were solving a problem of network security, and we realized that eventually network penetration testing is going to become less and less important. What's becoming more important is the application security, all these online websites, e-commerce portals, banking applications, and it's a different problem. So we then decided to shift from this network security testing to application security testing. And that was the right move for us, and that actually helped us in terms of scaling. We went ahead and got more than 500 enterprise customers. We, sometime back, around 4 months back, got acquired by a company. So overall, that helped us to kind of arrive at a success. Now, if we look at this journey, is this journey a search for an idea? Obviously, it will look like, right? It's like a search for an idea. We started with an idea, created the phase 2 of an idea, moved to phase 3, and when we moved to phase 3, that's when we got some success. So initially, I thought so. It took me like 5 or 6 years to realize that it was actually not a journey of search for an idea. It was something else. It was the search for the problem. And this had been one of the very big realizations which I had in my life. In our entire education system, or even in our society, we love people who solve great problems, right? We don't like people who comes up and points or finds problem. We love solving problems. That's what we are taught at various institutes. But what we don't learn is how to find problems. And finding problems is a different kind of art. It's a different kind of skills, and one needs to learn that. Unfortunately, our society or education system does not promote problem finding that much. We all know this gentleman, right? We all want to be a hero. And we all worship hero. But in the entire story of a hero, what we miss out is the villain. To make a great hero, you need a great villain. Without a great villain, you don't have a hero. So next time, when you get a great idea, you should think twice. is this idea solving a great problem? Are people really worried about that problem? Or is it you who is excited about the problem? Are the people really excited about that problem? And if you find out that great problem, you can say, Eureka, I found a great problem. So if you want to be a hero, you have to find your villain. And that's very, very important. There is no great idea without a great problem. So we should stop looking for ideas and start looking for great problems. Because it's not the idea, but the problem that matters. Thank you.